In Gotham Museum, there is an event of some sort, and a random photographer is taking pictures. Bruce watches the Wayne collection that his parents died for as a woman observes as well. The woman is Selina Kyle, and Bruce knows she tends to steal things. She tells Bruce to take her out sometime and starts hitting on him, and she knows there's more to him than meets the eye. A reporter comments that wearing those pearls was stupid, and Bruce punches him in the face, and Selina is impressed. Later on, Bruce is forced to go to therapy from a court order to avoid jail time. The doctor begins nagging him about his personal life and starts digging into him. Bruce tries to deflect the attention and admits that he was wrong. The doctor continues to talk about his parents, but Bruce deflects once again. He begins thinking about what happened and how much it traumatized him. Back to reality, Bruce thinks it was a waste of time, but the doctor knows his moves, leaving him a note in the file he stole. Meanwhile, Selina is woken up by her maid. In this show, she's a posh brat who ran out of money when her father went to prison. She gets an idea after seeing Batman on the news and decides to break the headlines herself. In one of her heists, she is caught by police but takes off running, attacking the cops in her way. Her agility allows her to completely fool them and get away, but not from the bat. She starts hitting on him and doesn't let him get close.
Please stop. I can't let you get close. Can you hear?
He quickly catches her though, and his toys get her excited. The cops arrive and arrest her, and she sees Batman driving away. Back in Bruce's memories, Alfred takes him back home as young Bruce is shattered. Bruce snaps out of it in front of the therapist, and she continues to question his way of living, but he keeps denying everything she's saying. She doesn't buy into his act, but he tries to say that it's just him being a billionaire playboy. Later on at court, Selina tries to pin her crimes on Batman, but no one is buying it. Harvey suspiciously gets Selina off the hook because she's rich and famous, which Barbara doesn't like. Harvey is probably trying to get inside her pants. At the police precinct, they make fun of Detective Bullock for not being able to put Selina in jail, but he and his partner are up to something sketchy. Later on, Batman is hitting the bags while watching the news when he hears about the release of Selina. He's disappointed that they let her go, and Selina goes right back to her old ways. She steals a cat as well, but Batman finds her. He chases her around the rooftops and manages to pin her, but she slips off and he saves her, so she repays the favor until they land. She then gets the drop on him and tases him before running to her brand new whip. She speeds off from Pimp My Ride, and the next day, the detectives hit her place, but she's disappeared. Selina is living in a sketchy place with her cats, as she intends to fully adopt the life of a criminal. Batman is angry about this and decides to go handle his business. He gets to the museum to tell them that he will be taking back his mother's jewelry. Catwoman hears this on the news and then gets the idea to rob it. Meanwhile at therapy, Bruce is pretending like therapy was useful to him. His doctor decides to sign his paperwork, but doesn't believe that he's made any progress. She compares him to her other patients, but says that his walls are just too high and tries to get him to continue therapy, but he refuses. He hands Alfred his papers, and Alfred tries to get him to continue therapy, but this bothers Bruce. He's back in his memories as he's trying to sleep after his parents' murder. He kept reliving the scene over and over until he broke down in tears. He made his way to Alfred, telling him that everyone is going to pay and he's going to help him. Years later, Batman suits up to make his way to catch Selina for the final time. Meanwhile, the same reporter who got punched gets a surprise from Batman while he's spying on some people. Batman assigns him to take pictures, and Selina gets to the museum to rob it. She snatches the pearls, and Batman confronts her while the reporter takes pictures. Catwoman brought a panther to the bat fight, and Batman turns into animal control. But the Black Panther is still on him until it passes out. Catwoman gets shot by the detectives, who try to finish her off, but he brutally takes them out and saves Catwoman while cuffing her to the crime scene. Batman gets to the reporter and tells him to release the pictures before he takes off. Selina is in jail and calls her maid, who is now the one who robs her. "Joke's on you, Selina." Now Batman is focused on his mission without the nuisance of Catwoman. Alfred tries bringing up therapy again, but Batman quickly changes the subject, which deeply upsets him. In his final memory, Alfred remembers his own perspective of the fateful night. In the next episode, people are talking about Batman on the news after the pictures of him beating up cops surface. The mayor announces a new special force dedicated to taking down Batman and tasks Jim Gordon with overseeing it. In the precinct, Bullock wants to run the task force, but Jim tells him to stop complaining and assigns Montoya because she is the only honest cop. They share information about Batman to try and game plan against him. Montoya hopes to trap him by faking a bunch of crimes, but it doesn't work. Joke's on them, though, because Batman is watching. One crime after another, their ploy doesn't work. He still takes the liberty of hanging up cops for wasting his time, though. Montoya is updated on everyone's failure. Batman is sharp, but the next day, they up the stakes. A police chase is happening and Batman joins in. Cops load up and open fire, but it doesn't faze his car. They set up a blockade, but he just thrusts forward, tearing them apart. They continue to chase but crash into a fire hydrant while their tomfoolery is recorded on the news. The next day, Harvey is attacking the mayor for his wastefulness of resources, building a case for his own. At night, Jim is hammered by the mayor for his failures before he hangs up. He goes for a fresh cup of coffee but finds Batman. Jim begins chasing after him till they reach the rooftop, and Batman swings out of there. Later, he tells Montoya about what happened, and that Batman is making them look like idiots. Jim's job is on the line, and tells her that Batman is too smart for their tactics. They need to try something else. The next day, they bring in Dr. Quinzel, Bruce's therapist, and she tries to reach into Batman's head and give them a plan. She says that Batman focuses on the bad guys and likes to go after costume villains. Flass and Bullock go to the cells to find a weirdo, and they find their man, Firebug. They grab his equipment from evidence and Barbara finds them transferring him, but they lie about a court order. Back inside the precinct, Barbara tells Jim that his detectives took a prisoner away. They're driving away and playing with a match in front of someone named Firebug. They also tell him that he needs to be more terrifying in order to survive before making fun of him. A bunch of idiots, if you ask me. They stop on the side to give him a chance to escape and grab his equipment before puncturing their tire. To make the escape more real, Bullock punches Flass. They devise a story and then wait for the bat to arrive. Firebug then gets to a neighborhood imagining all the damage he can do. Suddenly, he retreats and finds a basement to get some fuel. He begins to torch the entire place, living out his fantasies and wreaking havoc on the poor neighborhood. Jim is driving to the scene, and Batman is monitoring the situation. He takes off, and the detectives call it in that he's here. Jim tells everyone not to make a move, but the detectives give orders to shoot on sight. Batman enters the building and starts fighting the pyromaniac. On top of that, special forces open fire at him, but he deals with them. Jim gets to the scene and asks about the detectives, ordering no one else to go in. They head inside the scorching building, and the detectives are looking for Batman at the same time, who's on top of them. He finds a mother with her children and the police open fire, but he takes them out before jumping out the window. Jim and Montoya find the cops, and Jim orders them to leave while he heads on. Firebug observes what he's done before being confronted by the detectives. He's out of fuel, but they shoot him so he can't talk about how he escaped. The photographer takes pictures of the body, as well as Bullock. Jim finds Batman saving children, and he tells him that there's another one inside. They hurry to save them, and Jim shows him a shortcut downstairs. They land safely, but Batman is nowhere to be found. Jim exits with the children, and the reporter is still taking pictures. They put away the body, and the next day, Jim knows exactly what the detectives did, but the papers say otherwise. The mayor calls in and puts the detectives in charge, ordering Jim to stay out of their way. Later on, Jim and Montoya are joined by Barbara in the bar. This was a sad night for Gotham. These two episodes from the Caped Crusader introduce Catwoman in a new light. We also got a glimpse of Bruce's childhood and Alfred's perspective on what happened. We love how everything is made out in a realistic way, in a corrupt world where the bad guys thrive. If you've enjoyed this series, let us know and we'll continue to deliver on it to find out how the story ends, and make sure you catch the previous episodes. Well, this brings us to the end of today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this one. Your support helps us grow. And tell me what you think about this story. What do you think about the series so far? Did you like this depiction of Catwoman? And which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you're watching till now, thank you. I'll see you in another video soon.